It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we've got a beer from Stallhagen Brewery in Finland, and this is a can of their Wildflower Pale Ale coming in at 5% ABV, sent by the wonderful Nico. Now it must have fallen in transit. There's a big dent in the can. I'm hoping it's going to be okay. We have another ginger lady on the front of the can here. Absolutely wonderful. Look at that. A redhead. Cool, blimey. Premium craft beer brewed on the Åland Islands. Without further ado, let's get this can out into a glass and see what we get. It's okay, it's okay. I was a little bit worried it was over pressurized, but it was just the fact that it had a bit of a dent, a bit of a smack somewhere along the line. It's come all the way from Finland. So it travelled a long way to, you know, it's had a bit of a bump. Beer in the glass, we got a 3-finger, slightly off-white head, good levels of carbonation, a hazy amber coloured beer. Let's get the aroma. I think it is a bit wild. It's definitely a little bit wild. Yeah, you get that kind of estery, yeasty, very peppery and spicy as well. May put a lot of dry hops into the beer, or the dry hopping process. Let's dive in. Cheers. Very good. It's a very, very decent beer. Stone the Crows. Got a nice balance to it. I'm just kind of working out. I'm not one for reading labels. Well, even if I tried to read this label, it's probably all in the Finnish language. It certainly is. So I'm just trying to work out in my head. There's some honey in here. It's not. If it was meant to be like crazy sour, because they've used the word wild on the can, what I'm gonna go with is that they've just called it Wildflower. Not an awful lot to do with it being a wild beer. Very refreshing, very drinkable. You get that touch of honey. Nice sweetness to begin with, nice bitterness on the back end. Sweetness from the kind of malt coming through at the beginning, over then to the hops on the back end where it's lovely and kind of citrusy and grapefruity and lovely. Fabulous beer, fabulous balanced beer. For a pale ale at 5% ABV, this is the perfect kind of barbecue. Sit in the beer garden, have a few halves of this. Yeah, it's pretty decent. Pretty decent. And it helps. I like beer with a little bit of carbonation. It's what it does for me is, I'm recording this on a Sunday night, and I generally have a big roast dinner on a Sunday. Every Sunday, it's the only real time I get to get some veg in the kids. It's like a reset, beginning of the week roast dinner, and I always stuff myself with roasties and roast beef. I always have about 15 roasties. I'm terrible for it. So I had that about 5 o'clock. It's 8 o'clock, coming up to 8 o'clock now. And it just, beer is fantastic to move things around for your digestive system. It just gets things moving. It just helps to release any trapped wind it brought back up, and it just, even though the first couple of mouthfuls kind of like, you're like, I'm full. Am I too full for a beer? Have I eaten too much food for a beer? Then it kind of releases all of that trapped wind. And it's, yeah, a fantastic, I've always found it to be a fantastic digestive system thing, that it helps with my digestive system. Just thought I'd share that with you. Quite a lot of honey in here. Quite a lot of honey. And honey's one of those flavours. There's two flavours that I struggle with. Vanilla and honey. And maybe cinnamon. Those three flavours, if I didn't read, I don't normally read the can. I read the can because I was seeing if it was sorry, any English on the side of the can. And I seen honey. If I didn't read honey, I would have a little bit of a problem picking her up. I don't know why. Love talking about hops and the malts and everything else, but those three flavours, vanilla, cinnamon and honey, even though they're quite prominent, I struggle a little bit. And I'd rather be honest with you guys when it comes to that, because I don't think anybody's perfect in life, you know. Nobody can kind of like, I don't think anybody can really nail that. That's definitely that flavour without looking at the side of the can. Anyway, it's really nice. Nice balance to it. Let's rate it. Stallhagen Wildflower Pale Ale. 330ml can. It's in like a Red Bull style can. Thank you very much to Nico for sending me the beer. I like it enough to give it a Stone the Crows 8 out of 10. It's an 8 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom! Cheers.